Welcome to the First and Inches podcast, where every play counts and every take hits hard. Right. David is repping the dynasty that is the Kansas City Chiefs. George bleeds black and gold for Steeler Nation, and AP is still waiting on the Vikings to show up in February. We're breaking down the biggest stories in football, baseball, and anything in between. We're calling it like we see it, and no fan base is safe. Touchdown! This is the First and Inches podcast.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Hello and welcome back to the First and Inches podcast with your host here. I am Jorge.
I'm AP all day.
I am David.
AP, AD in the house.
Good, man. Grinding.
What's up? How are you guys doing
it's
today?
in the middle of the week as it goes. No stop. All gas. That's my life.
So what's happening in the
rain.
Midwest?
A
Are
lot
you
of
guys
rain.
getting any storms yet? Or
Yeah, dude. We're getting
Is
a ton
tornado
of rain.
season
In fact,
over?
we just bought a new basketball hoop, Spalding. They can go get fucked because that is the most hardest thing to fucking put together between needing a sawhorse, a protractor, everything. You gotta have a small arm. You have to have 4 to 5 people. I mean, it is the biggest pain in the ass for a name brand NBA hoop. So if you're Spalding, if you're out there, get your shit together because this thing sucks. Oh, it was $270. I got it at Academy. It was no, I got it at I don't know where I got it. Not Academy. We went there, we didn't like it. But anyway, it's a badass hoop. It just takes a whole bunch of people to put together. You got to jam these 3 rods, but these 3 rods in together so you can stack your hoop. It goes from 7.5 to 10 feet. And we're taking our other hoop, moving it to the trampoline so they can have slam dunk contests.
that's
Dude,
why you buy the floor model.
If I would have known what I was
together.
about to go through now they're out there right now as we speak, my wife and my kids, trying to put the finishing touches on this prick. So as soon as we're over with this thing, I'm out there again.
All right. It's a good day here in Oklahoma City because we are ready for the Thunder Pacers game 3. It's going to be a barn burner, and the Thunder are still showing like 6-1 favorites to win it. So, what's y'all's opinions about tonight's game?
So we still have time to put money on it. Where's your money, Hooks?
I don't have it.
I'll say this. I think the Thunder are going to win. But I think if Indiana, the Pacers, they somehow sneak this win at home, I don't know, man. I think it goes back to 50-50 odds. I think it moves the needle that much.
Yeah, I don't know what the percentages are for going up 2-1. I know winning the first game 85%, I think, is what we talked about. And then now that they're tied, home field advantage kind of up in the air. But we'll see. I mean, Oklahoma City needs to continue playing defense for 48 minutes. I don't know if you call what Indiana has been doing luck, coming back from 15, 20 downs, how many times in the playoffs. So that's their MO now. You just got to understand that that's what they can do and don't let them,
Yep. It looks like the Thunder are favored by 5.5 right now. So
on the road.
I'm not going to pretend I know a whole lot about basketball, but the Pacers seem like a very chaotic team. Do you guys agree with that? Like, it seems like they're always under chaos.
Sorry.
And I don't know. And again, that could be a completely horrible take.
Yeah,
but at least from, I'm just now getting back into the NBA. Last time I left off in the NBA, you're talking like Stephon Marbury type time ago. So you're talking late 90s, early 2000s. So it's been a long, long time. But again, it just we talked about it last time. I'm not a fan of the 3-point shot and down in, just I like spreading the offense out, but the game's changed. I am still that get off my lawn type guy. Mm-hmm.
But is that a strategy? How do you prepare for chaos? How do you prepare to face a team who is going to throw whatever at you? You don't even know where it's coming from.
That's exactly why I have the take that I do with the Pacers is I don't know how you prepare for a chaotic team like that, right? I think it's from what I'm watching. Whereas the Thunder just seem to be very intentional, like they have a plan. At least they stick to it. They're trusting the process, and their defense is just out otherworldly. It's full court press the entire time. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I go back to tonight. If the Pacers manage to squeak this one out, I think it's back to 50-50.
So if the Thunder were to win the next 3 games, David, how do you rate these finals versus, say, the last 5 years?
So obviously, without the name brand, it's definitely not being watched as much as the normal NBA finals. Though if you look, Boston last year, even being in the finals and winning it, it was still a lower rated than normal finals. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I feel like that the NBA has kind of driven some fans away and not brought them back as quick as football. And so, I'm just excited for the Thunder because of their, of just the excitement for the city, the comeback from almost winning it, 10, 12 years ago to, basically going back to the cellar. And then now, they're climbing up that hill and, man, it sure would be nice.
I think, this could give other small markets some confidence that they can do something like this. However, they got to understand they don't have the front office that the Thunder do. They don't have the same caliber of smart and lucky people in the front office that the Thunder has been able to keep together for so long. And that's partly why they're here. They're not here because they went and signed the, like you said, the star power and try to create a super team. They're here because they've put in the groundwork to get to where they are.
And they have so many picks remaining. They have their first round pick from last year that was supposed to be a 1, 2, 3 pick in the draft that tore his ACL that's going to be back next year. I mean, they just are loaded.
Here's the deal.
And
this is important.
I'd love to see them win their first one.
When you say that about them building a dynasty or, talking about the front office and you mentioned the picks, I think that is extremely important that they win this year. Otherwise that could stunt this entire, maybe their, what they're going for to build that dynasty. Look what happened to the Baltimore Orioles, right? I mean, 3 years ago, they surprised everyone and they were way ahead of their rebuild. Then they came on and they got, again, they landed a lot of great picks in the draft. And then now look at them. I mean, I know I picked them 2 weeks ago or whenever, but this is a completely different franchise. And them not capitalizing and winning, for the Thunder, I think could set this whole entire narrative back, even with these picks, because it's all about momentum, right?
Yeah, of all people, the Thunder understand that concept. Yeah. They had Durant, they had Westbrook, they had Harden, and didn't win, and they thought, we'll get him next year.
Point.
We'll go next year, turn into 20 years, right?
Like
10 years.
Like any game is imperative to win, right? I'm not trying to sound like it's not, but for them to get this recipe right, it is so important.
So one of the things I'm going to mention this. One of the things from that Durant, Westbrook, Harden years was that Scott Brooks was so hard-headed and would not pull Kendrick Perkins out of the starting lineup. In every game, they were, going down 8, 10 points.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies, he just constantly just disses the Thunder, even though he's a Thunder fan because of that. And then before the finals this year, the coach changed the lineup to kind of match up with Indiana better. And he's just like, I can't believe you changed the lineup. And it's like, man, you're the same guy that complained they wouldn't. And now they're changing the lineup. And it's like, this Thunder team they're built, with some stars.
Yeah, but I mean, Oklahoma City population 3 million, and 1.5 million at least can coach better than the coach, right? So that's
true.
That's how it goes. Now, once the playoffs are over, where do the dominoes fall? Does this game have an impact on what starts happening down the road with free agency and coaching changes and all that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting where the Greek Freak shows up. It'll be interesting to see where Durant shows up. It's going to be interesting to see what LeBron does. If he says hanging it up or playing another year.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead. Sorry, Jorge.
So is Luka? What's Luka's situation? Is he under contract next year with the Lakers or no?
Yeah, he's under contract with the Lakers next year, and then he's free agent the year after. Of course, he's not crazy. Like, just mark it down. He will.
Well, they're not
be
crazy,
a Laker
right?
for many
They don't make
years
that trade without them being able to lock that dude down.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe, but
I mean, if they get tired of his antics like they did in Dallas, but I doubt that they would. The NBA is full of characters, to say the least. So,
hey, what do you guys? So, one of the rumors I saw was Jason Kidd leaving
Jorge,
Dallas and going to the Knicks.
You probably want to speak to this more so than anybody, but I got some history to talk about after you go off here.
I mean, what else is out there? You're gonna go get a coach that's rebounding from 3 other teams in the last 10 years. What else is there? Somebody from the booth, from media to come back into coaching after being away. I don't know. I mean, that might be the best option for the Knicks right now.
What last thing I read was the Mavericks rejected the right to negotiate with Jason Kidd. So that was today. Now, I was thinking, because we've seen this happen before, where coaches are traded, right? So maybe the Mavs say, you're not talking to Kidd, but if the Knicks offered up a sweet enough package, I'm absolutely positive that they would entertain it, right? So I did the last 3. We know about the Broncos fiasco, right? When they traded for Sean Payton. Get a load of this: a 2023 first round pick, a 2024 second round pick, and a 2024 third round pick, all for Sean Payton. Obviously, that did not materialize, at least from the jump. That was in the NFL. Major League Baseball, this is going back over 13 years. Ozzie Guillen traded for 2 minor leaguers. Now, those minor leaguers were nothing. One of them made the bigs. The other one flamed out, and I think he played a few years in the independent league. NBA. Doc Rivers in 2023 traded to the Clippers, and they got a first-round pick, a 2015 first-round pick. So I'm going to ask you guys, Hooks, what do you think? What do you think's a fair compensation for a guy like Jason Kidd? But also think about the marketability. What his aura would bring to that team, and they're a big culture team, right? The Knicks are, and we saw that with their former coach. So you gotta keep that thing going. What do you think's a fair deal?
So the reality is they're the Knicks. So if they give up a first round pick, I won't be surprised. They don't build through picks. They build through free agent signings, trades. But man, it just cracks me up. It's like they keep thinking that they can win that way, and they really hadn't been relevant for a while. But to the point of Jason Kidd is just a coach. I mean, you need to find a guy like, you need to find somebody to run your front office first and try to build through the way the Thunder have with Presti.
I agree, but that's much harder than replacing a coach every couple
I know
of
he
years.
is just a coach, but it is New York, and you have to have a marquee name, right? I mean, everything's bigger. I don't know. I think if I'm the Knicks and I have a chance, and if what you guys say, they don't build organically, they build outside of their franchise, then I say offer up whatever it takes. You get that marquee name in there. It's going to sell. It's going to keep people interested. It's going to keep them relevant. And maybe a guy like Jason Kidd can manage, what seems to be not a very big personality type team, right? From what I've seen and observed, it doesn't seem like there's personalities there that are bigger than the team itself. Something like a LeBron that's dictating, who comes in, who goes out.
He's the coach. Yeah.
Well, who's got the first pick this year?
The Dallas Mavericks with, I bet you can't even bet on it because it's going to be Cooper Flagg. And I was thinking, how many players have ever came in with a bigger hype?
I actually put together a list.
Flagg.
Now you guys can, debate this, but I'll make it real quick. I think he's a top 10 prospect of all time, right? Okay. Here are the guys I have above him over the last, and I went back. I just set a boundary of 25 years. So LeBron, Victor Wembanyama, these are guys I have above him. Anthony Davis, and now I'm not talking about what they materialized, but status going in. Greg Oden, right? Zion Williamson, Superman Dwight Howard, Kevin Durant, and Ben Simmons. Well, I'm talking about
Kevin Durant
when I'm
was
looking
a
at
second pick.
I'm talking about draft hype. That guy going in. Because Durant and Greg Oden were in the same year. So you could debate 1 and 2, like how it should have played out, right? Oh.
How do you think the Portland fans feel about that
They
draft?
had Sam Bowie, right?
Yeah, versus Michael Jordan. Seems like
So wait, remind me, is there a new rule where they can't just come out of high school anymore?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go 1 year. You can go to G League. You don't have to go to college. You just have to. You just can't get
2 years in football, I think.
Your first year. So these were the only players that I could find that were more hyped, in my opinion. Kareem, Wembanyama, Chamberlain. I don't know. You guys probably aren't old enough to remember Ralph Sampson, Patrick Ewing, Magic Johnson, and then Flagg. I feel like that's the hype train to how much the pick is worth.
But you know what? There's a lot of people on this train. How many people have been hyped all the way and just turn out to be average players? So to me, the hype doesn't mean anything. And yeah, you had to play a year in college now. That doesn't mean anything. You didn't win the championship either in college. So we'll see. He'll go to Dallas. Is he better than Luka Doncic? What's he going to do to Dallas? I mean, Luka couldn't do. I don't care how much hype you got. I don't know. I stay away from the hype like that. So if the Knicks had the first pick, obviously they're going to pick the best guy available, right? But don't put all your eggs in one basket. He's not going to come and save your franchise. He's not going to come and transform Dallas into an NBA champion in 2 years. So I don't know. I don't buy the hype.
All right. So we're going to go talk about the new All-Star rankings, or the All-Star vote counts came out, and wanted to see. Let's just pick a couple of positions that we want to talk about. I've got my whole team. I don't know what you guys have got, but I think this is going to be Will Smith's first start at catcher.
Oh yeah, he's
just me. I love that guy, man. I don't know how he hasn't been the starter like maybe 5-6 times in his career.
And it's especially surprising that he plays for such a big team like the Dodgers. So it's not like he has irrelevancy. It is surprising because that man can hit and he plays good, solid D, and he's healthy.
I remember when he was coming up, and they were like, "Oh, they've got this Will Smith's kind of just going to be a placeholder until Herbert Ruiz was, going to take his place." And of course, they end up trading him to the Nationals whenever they picked up Trey Turner, and it's like, man, he was not supposed to be this good. So, what about first base in the National League? What do you guys think?
I mean, the polar bear's got to be there, right? He's putting up contract year numbers. He knows he's going to opt out. and the Mets better pay him because he's carrying the team. That other new guy they got from the Dominican Republic, he's just a clown and a freak show over there. Just so Alonso is really making a statement for what he really knows he can be. With him starting in the All-Star game, that's just going to give him ammunition to get that contract he's looking
I've got
for.
no one else at first base there in the National League. If we're going around the horn, I refuse to say who may get in, who probably deserves it. Brendan Donovan, because he's not I'm not going to acknowledge a Cardinal player, but I like Nico Horner, believe it or not, is who I like there at the cornerstone position. I don't know about you guys. If we're doing around the horn, we can keep this going.
Yeah. What do you think
I could
about
argue
Marte?
I could see it go
there
either
instead
way.
of.
I just like Nico Horner's overall game, and I like where he's done, what he's come from, and what he's doing on that team. And he's still shining when he's, he's obviously taken, he's no Kyle Tucker, he's no Dansby Swanson. I'm not saying he's not as productive as Dansby, but it's not as a marketable name.
No, I mean those projections to me seem fair. Marte's been a consistent player. I don't know how many times All-Star already, so he understands what's needed. I hate the leader for third base right now just because I hate the player.
Yeah.
But you could make a case
though for Chapman,
right? In my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Machado, but I could see that being argued. He's a great player for a really good team. I don't know. He seems to be so inconsistent. He has these years where he's otherworldly. He's one of the best ball players in the league, and then all of a sudden he just comes back, and I don't know. It's just an inconsistent player.
Yeah.
It's short. It's pretty straightforward. It's Jorge's boy, Lindor. Although I wish it was my boyfriend Ellie De La Cruz, but such is the way it's going this year. Oh my God!
He needs to go to the skills competition. If there's such a thing.
Night, last night's error.
Maybe improve a little bit.
He allowed a runner to get on. Then he almost cost Andrew Abbott, who threw a complete game shutout. Almost cost him the complete game shutout by extending that inning. Because pitchers can't go over 100 pitches anymore. So it was going to be pretty gnarly.
So that is two Mets.
Two Mets.
Who's going to be who's going to be the top vote getter for the outfield?
Tatis. For
the outfield,
it's Tatis or Corbin Carroll.
It's a good question. National League. I mean, sometimes it can turn into a popularity contest. So you can see PCA probably getting a big push.
That's what where did he come from? I can't even remember.
Hold on. Hold that thought while you guys are talking.
I have no idea.
On. Damn it.
You do know.
The Mets.
He do. For Javi Baez.
Yeah, really. Yeah, the Mets. Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Know that?
I was trying to fuck
Is
around.
that why you're messing with me? Okay.
Javi Baez for Pete Crow Armstrong.
Where was he? Like in Double-A or something?
Yeah.
To be fair, he was not projected to be the ball player he was right now. I mean, he was a good guy. I mean, he might have been a top 100 guy, but I don't think he was projected to be.
Yeah.
But no, I still think Tatis is going to be the top vote getter. Him or Corbin Carroll, and then of course PCA. That's my roundup in National League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually say Kyle Tucker. Who else you got?
I mean, I think Teoscar Hernandez putting up big numbers. He hit a home run today. Tie ball game with the Padres. Those teams don't like each other, and he comes through with a 3-run shot to take the lead. So he's come in clutch a lot. And I think in my book, that means a lot. Like, you're most valuable to your team when you make plays that matter and have impact on winning ball games, right? So I don't care if you hit 400, if you only hit when there's nobody on base, or you just don't hit a lot of extra base hits or whatever. But when it has an impact on the game and the outcome, that's when it matters. And Teoscar Hernandez has had a big impact with his bat this year.
Yeah, that's so. I always remember the Dodgers players back in the days when I was younger, Eric Karros and Mike Piazza. Man, if they won 10-2, I guarantee you they both hit 2 home runs. If they lost, 3-2,
Yeah.
those guys didn't do anything.
Oh, for 4, yeah.
It's just crazy how the
we
clutch
going,
times matter. I know
yeah.
when they picked up.
We going. Let's roll through
the
American
outfield
League.
for
Let's
me.
keep this going. I don't think there's anybody.
Hold on. What about DH?
No. Yeah.
Nobody cares. It's a national league. Nobody cares about the DH.
I'd say it's one of the outfielders. Whoever you want, whoever does it.
Talk about
those top 3, it's got to be one of the outfielders. We're gonna bury him.
Have you ever watched a DH player throughout a game, what they're doing in the dugout? Because they're not out there just watching the game most of the time. I mean, of course they're watching a little bit, but they're in the dugout, at least some of the ones I've seen, and the entire game they're like focused and practicing and working on their swing and just like kind of like in the zone of what they're gonna do when they go hit. Is that what Ohtani does? I haven't seen him in the dugout yet. I will soon. But it's another. Can you imagine how hard that job must be? Because you got to be ready.
No, probably
considering
Ohtani's
that you're not in the game
saving
the whole
kids
time.
from a burning building, something like that. Fucking guy, he's otherworldly.
Probably,
yeah.
Probably building houses during the in between innings,
or and then
obviously
translator about things. I don't know.
If I were to bet, he's a.
So I guess Skeens as pitcher. Are we all good with Skeens as pitcher?
He should be.
He's got a losing record, and he's going to lead the league in ERA.
It's a travesty. I mean, he's not the only one in the league now that is doing a great job.
No,
but his win-loss record does not show it.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
Let's go to AL.
Hooks. Who you got? Catcher.
I'm
going to go with the Mariners. Kyle Raleigh. I've watched him for a couple of years now. The dude absolutely hits piss missiles, and he's that whole entire offense, in my opinion, because Julio Rodriguez, I know that's the most popular name, but he's not hammering them out like my boy is. So that's who I've got at catcher.
Rodriguez is not clutch at all. Even Rosarena is more clutch than J-Rod. The big dumper, he's having a breakout year. I don't know when his contract's up, but good for him. I think he's earned it. I think he deserves it.
So I'm going to go first base with Guerrero.
Laddie. I just got his autograph last week.
Oh, did you? He signed a sweet spot?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't think he did. No. Let's find out. Hang on.
For me,
did not.
First base, I have to go with Royals. Vinny P. He's my guy there. I'm picking all-stars on how I feel like they should be, not vote getters. All the casual ass fans. I'm going off of actual merit. So Vinny P for me. What do you got, Jorge?
Now some of the projections talk about Aranda from the Rays to be there, and I get it. He has a good batting average. His bat hasn't been as impactful as some people might think, although he has a good average. He's not, up there in some of the other categories. His defense, I mean, this is his first real full year playing at first base. He shared a little bit of cleanup time with Yandy last year and the year before. But this year, Yandy's a DH, so Aranda's getting the run at first base. He's not doing terrible, defensively, but he's not Gold Glove caliber, in my opinion. So I think I personally would not really put him in just yet. He's got a lot of things to clean up in his game, but I don't know. We might see him up there just because his average is pretty high.
All right. What about second base?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jazz Jism.
I mean,
that would be my guy, Jazz Jism.
I would never do that. That dude is inconsistent.
So how about Gleyber Torres?
Yeah, and I mean he's turned his game around going to Detroit. I just don't think he got the opportunity in New York. Consistent play. He dealt with some injuries. I get that, but he's coming through in Detroit. He's playing every day, and he's doing a great job. I think he worked
Former
hard.
Cub came over
and I
in the
wouldn't
Roldis
mind seeing
Chapman
him
deal
getting the start.
with New York, by the way.
All right. So,
J-Ram.
what about third base?
Easy. I don't think there's any dispute.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's done.
Some people are making a claim for Bregman, but
He's still hurt.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
he was hurt or not hurt. Was he hurt? He was just on maternity leave and all
Do we
kinds
have a
of
trash
stuff.
can anywhere nearby?
Right. Yeah. So no, I mean, I think Jose probably should be in there, in my opinion.
Absolute. He might be one of the top three most certain guys on that AL team. My God, his defense
is
if you disagree,
underrated.
he'll knock you the fuck
I think
out,
he's
right, Tim
good
Anderson?
defender. No, I don't disagree with anybody that says that.
Oh,
what about? I'm just gonna throw it out there, like one of the future stars of the game.
Yeah, I think he is one of the stars of the game already.
Bobby Witt.
I mean, I think he's he's got that moxie about him. He's built year over year. You talk about consistency, inconsistency rather. Some of the other guys we cited. This guy's the real deal. He was the real deal being drafted. He hit all the hype. He was a number 2 overall pick. I forget who was number 1 that year. I might have to go back and look. But yeah, I mean, he's the real deal. I don't think there's any way disputing it one way or the other.
Yeah, that guy's an all-star. He deserves it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the Royals did sign him to a long-term deal, so we're not going to ever get to see him on TV. So unless you live in the Royals market. All right, first outfielder I'm going with. He's my second outfielder, but I'm going to pick him as my first outfielder now. Is Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Since both of y'all dogged him.
Yeah, I would not put him in there. I mean, the popular pick will be Aaron Judge. He's obviously got the numbers this year. Nobody's comparing to that. We haven't seen him tested a defense yet, but he's an all-star. He's kind of carrying that team, and his offense is on point. So he's definitely going to get the most votes, in my opinion. For number 2, I mean, I got to go with somebody from Detroit. There's a reason why that team is in first place. They're very consistent.
Riley Green.
Hunter Green. Wait, is it Hunter? Riley Green, sorry. Riley Green. Yeah, not Hunter Green.
Well, now
Hunter Green, man. I thought he was going to have a great year this year.
And now it's his lower back.
Yeah. He's just having to deal with so much, man. And really, he deserves a really good year. But yeah, Riley Green is playing great baseball, and you can make a case for Carpenter. I would agree with that list.
I would agree with the list. I would just add Byron Buxton into that.
Who is Byron Buxton? I don't know who that is. Maybe throw in that center fielder from the A's. That dude's that.
Well, I think Buxton, God forbid, if he could put together a full season. I don't know if he's ever played more than 89 games, but if he could, holy hell, that guy would go completely off. You're talking MVP numbers. Mike Trout.
Will Mike Trout ever be an all-star again?
Yeah, just for popularity. But do I think he'll hit that production level? I think it's
you gotta be on the active roster sometime around voting time. You know what I mean? And stay off the DL. I don't know.
Yeah, what a terrible deal. Yeah. We'd all love to see Mike Trout.
Oh yeah, and it would be great for the game
nice,
too.
Healthy seasons.
The only bad thing about Trout, I'll say, is he's kind of plain in terms of his personality. He doesn't have a lot of that flair, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying that playing on the West Coast, not having a lot of flair, not really weighing in, and just being like a good, wholesome type dude. I think it's done. Maybe I'm not saying he is so productive and so great at what he did that it's all reliant upon what he's done, as opposed to any sort of self-marketing, which is a testament to Trout.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
So,
I got the Angels going to the playoffs. So,
all right. What's the DH there? Going Ryan O'Hearn.
O'Hearn. I mean, I don't know. Somebody said Devers. I don't really know how he's doing in terms of his offense this year. He started the season like 0 for 300 or whatever,
Ohtani
but
for DH for the National League. I just thought of that when you mentioned Kyle Schwarber.
I said Ohtani.
That's the only choice
in the National League would also be another name I would throw out there.
Never.
Guys, stand by. Stand by.
Not even close.
All right, we're gonna
look. The Angels are only 4 games behind the Astros. American League West is just a free for all.
Yeah,
none of these teams are good. You know, the Houston Astros are barely over 500, and they're in first place. You got the Mariners in second place, and they're below 500. So I hope the Angels can pull it off.
And I think
like I predicted.
You know, what was he?
That's great.
They got swept. Am I wrong with the Angels whenever Trout was in the playoffs at one time? It was a 3-game sweep, or am I wrong? Maybe I'm misremembering.
I don't even remember.
I don't. So we're going to let Adam name the starting pitcher for the American League.
You guys are going to have to help me out. Who am I missing here? Huh?
Get off his knob.
Oh,
it's got to be Screwball.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yo.
Dude, that was like a grand slam home run.
Listen, if you look at what he's done, again, consistency and building upon that, this guy's going to be special. He's going to be, I'm not saying Juan Soto money, but when he comes up, when he hits free agency or when he's eligible, it's going to be big time because this guy, he's pitching like an old school pitcher, going longer than 3 innings, starting pitching, throwing more than 92 pitches. And I know he does everything that everyone loves, strikeouts. And he's got a decent ground ball rate too. So, yeah, he's going to be the lock. He's a lock.
Yeah. I figured you'd just be. So, okay, so we got a lot more baseball stuff to talk about, but we're going to go ahead and go to the NFL just to, yeah. So I want to talk about all the free agents, that the Parsons, the Watts, the Hendricksons, and why are these teams like waiting to sign them?
Well, I think that's just it.
It just gets
I think
more expensive.
I think everyone's waiting for them to set the standard. They don't want to be the prick that sets the high bar contract. So they don't want to, because they could always look back and be like, hey, the Steelers or the Chiefs fucked up and gave this big fat contract. So we had to meet it because of this. So you can always look back, and you don't want to be the guy that fucks up first, but that's my opinion of why they're doing it.
I mean, that makes a little bit of sense, but you kind of understand where the market is. And if you offer somebody a little bit less than that, you don't have to go all out, right? Maybe help everybody else out. Maybe help every other team, including yourself, by not paying too much. Not letting somebody else fuck it up for you.
About that.
So, yeah. Happens a lot, I think.
The owners are not colluding. Like, they don't care. They literally are going to pay their 52% revenue, and they're going to try to win with it. They're not. There's no way. Now, if you're a team like the Bengals, dude, they have screwed up every single deal, paying their 3 players all this money, and the wide receivers and quarterback, and now they don't want to pay the defensive end. But man, that's just such a terrible organization. Like, they still haven't even signed their first round draft pick yet from this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they want special wording in his contract that no one else does, and they're just staying in the line of, if he does something inappropriate, that his money's not guaranteed.
Like what? No boats and hose.
Well, that kind of leads us into
about
former Viking.
So, and then the Cowboys. I mean, like they have literally overpaid every star that they've had, including Dak, including Zeke, and now they're just waiting to overpay. They could have signed Parsons to a contract, a long time before this, but they're just ended up overpaying because he's one of the top players in the league. I'm really shocked that the Steelers haven't figured out a way to get that done.
Well, they found out a way to get their starting quarterback that's going to put them in the playoffs. I'm sure they can fill. Yeah, I told you, what did I say?
Here we come.
I don't know if you guys wrote that down, but the Steelers, I think Aaron Rodgers has got one more year in him. One more year, and he's going to butt fuck the league, and we're going to see and everybody's going to go down, and he'll retire as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He'll finish strong this year.
He'll
vaccinate.
As much as he's a little kooky on all his conspiracies and whatnot, and his drugs that he does, he was, until he went to the Jets, was just on path for, greatness. But Man, if he has
No,
another,
I don't. He won't, because
another bad year like that this year,
nothing good comes to the Jets. Nothing. Even when Favre went there, everything went to hell. He had a great year for the Vikings. Went to the Jets. The fucking floor fell out from under him. No. So I think this is a testament to Aaron Rodgers. And his last year, what he did with the Jets was not too bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. It was very similar to his last year with the Packers, and he managed to do that with that fucked up franchise. Yeah.
It's the best option that the Steelers had. And the football gods, they understand what they're doing. They're going to pin him against the Jets for the first game of the year. So he should have a chip on his shoulder. He should want to go perform. And hopefully this will snowball into good football early in the season. And maybe the Steelers can do something and put something together. So
is that in New York or is that in Pittsburgh?
I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to the Green Bay game. Let me see. NFL.
Why are you looking at the Green Bay game? They're not going to be there. The Jets and the Steelers.
I'm saying for me to go to Pittsburgh.
Oh.
So I know that one is at home. Let's look at the schedule.
While you're doing that real quick, what was in Diggs' bag?
September. In New York.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. They're going to be, that fireman's going to be up there just booming them. So what was
Well, I don't know. I haven't
heard anything. What do you guys think it was? I heard a rumor.
Hear?
So one of the things I heard is that pop rocks, if you get them in the ocean, it's like really bad for the environment. So instead of, having the pop rocks just sitting out on the table, he put them in a bag to protect the environment.
No fucking
way. They were like
way.
Raspberry pop rocks is what I heard.
No, I think you're probably right. Okay. If he wants to stick with that story, that's great on him. Well, I don't know. I'm not a drug addict, so I don't know what it would be. But
listen, how many of these guys?
Yeah, look
on
at the
a random
Vikings,
weekend are on a boat with a bunch of women.
Look, this goes
hundreds. And why are we just seeing these videos? Like, most of these people don't allow cell phones, don't allow, all this crap on board, because they know that things will happen or might happen that could hurt them in the eye of the fans.
I don't know,
but
he's dating that.
So how did this happen?
Oh, fuck yeah. She's hot as hell. I wouldn't be fucking around with any drugs or any other women. I'd be with that shit all day. So that's on him, man. And that's if let me ask you this: if Parcells is the head coach,
so
is Diggs on the team? I'm saying if Bill Parcells was still the head coach.
You talking about Belichick? Or?
Bill, that's what I mean. Sorry, Belichick. Sorry. If Belichick was still the head coach, is he on the team?
Oh, okay. It's in 2025, yeah.
So
20 years ago, no. But nowadays, yeah.
Okay, so he actually came back and they said, hey, what was there and what was the story, and how'd the conversation go with the coaches and whatnot. And he said, hey, it was discussed, but we're not going to discuss it in public. So, it's gone. I mean, the reality is the NFL doesn't care if their players do drugs. They just want the perception that their players don't do drugs. And the drug program is just not, there's no suspension for drugs anymore. You just go into the drug program and, nothing's going to happen to him.
All right, let's round it out. Yeah.
All right. One last question. Who's the starting quarterback? Who starts more
Anthony
games
Richardson.
for the Colts this year?
There's no way they roll out Daniel Jones. He's not going to put asses in the seats. Anthony Richardson, for his fumbles and mistakes, sure, but he's a highlight player. I mean, and you wait. He's a first round pick. I know Daniel Jones was, but he's a failed first round pick. I don't think there's any question. Anthony Richardson,
Jason Bean. No.
So I actually say that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson, and if they're trying to keep their job, then it's going to be Daniel Jones. I mean, like another broken franchise has been the Giants for since
Daniel Jones will get him to
days.
7-8-2 because he's good for a couple ties.
Yeah, I mean, that's you get a Daniel Jones because you think he can help your franchise. He's not going to help it from from the bench.
No.
In that case, you would have got somebody else to be on the bench, right? And find
I think
somebody else to lead your team.
give
So
him
you
the
got to
perception
give
they give
Daniel
him a chance.
Jones
I think they need a
chance,
safety net
at least.
because Anthony Richardson seems to be injury prone. But I think it's Anthony.
But I mean, you saw him walk off the field last year after a play and let a backup quarterback come in.
I still think they give him rope.
So, all right. Anything else, Jorge?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's been a good week. I'm getting ready to head back to Oklahoma, and hopefully I can catch the Thunder winning it all on Game 5.
Oh, yeah.
You have tickets?
Not yet.
Oh, wow.
Working on that. You want to go? We should go.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a house payment.
It's in the middle of the week, though.
All right, boys. It's been
I
real.
got a house payment. All right.
Love it.
Well, man, I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna talk about what happens this week. By the time we meet again, we'll be 2 more games deep into the NBA playoffs and that much closer to a champion. I appreciate it. You listeners can always catch us on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can go to our YouTube channel, or First and Inches Podcast, and find us anywhere.
Peace out.
Follow, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Later.